Um, I thought you were going to do some of the infusible stuff. What's going on?
I'm paralyzed. I don't know what kind to use. The rainbow one or the mermaid one. There's so many choices.
If only there was a way to preview it on the object.
Preview?
Hi, and welcome to Crafts by Two. I'm Ken.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm George. I'm not paralyzed anymore.
So with the infusibles, there's so many different patterns to choose from. And we decided to show you a simple way that you could take those, put them as a pattern in Design Space, and preview your work with the same infusible designs.
That way, you know where to place your images on the map when you go to do your final cut.
And you have a better idea, especially in some of those more detailed patterns, where things are going to fall.
Ken, I'm feeling a little paralysis coming back. Why don't you show them how to do it?
Okay. So here we are on our Windows desktop. And I'm going to go ahead and create a new folder. And I'm just going to call it Infusible, so I remember. And you can put this anywhere you like as long as you remember where it's going to be. I'm leaving this here on my desktop. Now I'm going to go over to my web browser. And I'm already on Michael's website. And I'm going to search on Infusible. And get rid of this little chat box. And I'm going to use one of the things that has designs and a color. So over here are all of the images, and I'm going to scroll down and click on View All. And I click on the pattern to bring it up, and I'm going to right click and save image as. And I'm going to go to my Infusible folder and save this out. And I could give it a name, like I'm going to call this leopard. I think that's a leopard. Then I can go to the next one and do save image as, and I'm going to call this leopard gradient. That's what's in this one, so I'm all set. And I'm just going to do one other one with a regular solid color. So again, I'm going to do View All, select the pattern, right click, save image as, and what was this one called again? Triangle Brights. So now that I've got those saved, I can look in my folder. We need these to be in a format that Design Space will handle. The PNGs are fine. The WebPs aren't going to work in Design Space directly, but we can take care of that, plus save us a little time with uploading by making them a little smaller. I'm going to return back to the web browser. Google has an app online called Squoosh, SQUOOSH.app. And you can just go to this in a web browser, and it is a image compression utility online. And it's really great because it'll compress your images down, plus it can convert them. So here you can see you can drag and drop or select an image. I'm just going to click on select an image, and I'm going to go to my Infusible folder on the desktop, and I'm going to select this first one, leopard. And you don't necessarily need it super high quality, so to save a little bit of space, I'm just dragging this down to 40%. You can see that by dragging this little slider, it compares the original on the left and my compressed one on the right, and it's not going to be a huge difference here. So that's good, and plus it's almost half the size, so it'll be a little bit quicker to upload into Design Space. Now that it's ready, I'm coming down to this download button in the corner, and it downloaded that image again. Now to do another image, I'm going to come up here and click on the arrow and click on select image again to go through all my images. Dragging this back to 40% and saving it. And one left to go. I don't need to do this PNG, so that's why I said there's one left. So those are all done. For me, it saved those to my downloads folder because that's where Chrome was configured to save them. So I'm just going to switch over to downloads, get those JPEGs, and drag those back to my Infusible folder so I know where they are. So I've got my JPEG, the WebDP, which I don't really need. I could actually go through and get rid of those, selecting them and deleting them. So now these are the images that I'm going to work with in Design Space. So I'm going to go back and go into Design Space and create a new project. Oh, I had some stuff I was working on. And now I'm going to go to Upload, and I'm going to upload pattern fills. So I select Upload Pattern, and I can drag and drop again, or click the Browse button. I'm going to browse and select that image. And it takes the file name, so since I had already named the file leopard, I'm all good to go. And one thing that can help you find things is the filtering. So I'm going to do that to select that kind of orangey color so I can find it a little easier. And I'm going to click Save. So my pattern was uploaded successfully, and I'm just going to do that again for the other ones. So now that I've got my patterns uploaded, I can cancel to return to my project. So now to take advantage of the image preview with the pattern, I'm going to insert a shape. I'm going to insert a square, and I'm going to make that square 12 by 12 to match the size of an Infusible transfer sheet. And I'm just going to drag this up to the corner. Now I need to make sure that I've got my square selected, and I come up to Fill, and I change Fill to Print, and I click on the color block, and I change the print type to pattern. And now in the patterns, I can see all the different patterns I uploaded. So the leopard skins, and then the triangle brights. I'm going to use the triangle bright one. So I click on that. And there you go. There's the triangle bright pattern on my virtual sheet of transfer paper. Now if I want to preview something, I can just slice it out of this paper as if I was cutting it. So I'm going to go to Images, and Cricut already has a whole bunch of cool images loaded. I've searched on Coaster, And there's a little smiley face one that I liked. There he is. So I'm going to click on that and insert the image. And there's that smiley face. So one thing to keep in mind, that this is a 12 by 12 piece of paper, and your Cricut machine will only cut up to 11.5 by 11.5 on a regular square mat. So you want to make sure that you're still working your cuts within that half. As I drag around, you can see the X and the Y get shown. So right now it says X is 0.4 and the Y is 0.7. I just need to keep that within 1/4 of an inch of all the edges. So I need to make sure that my X is within 1/4 of an inch, like there. It's not going to work out. And so as long as I make sure that those are within those boundaries, I'm good. Plus you can kind of eyeball it with the lines on here. So to see my preview, I select both and then slice. And I don't need this anymore. And if I hide the sheet, and there's my coaster with a pretty good preview of how it's going to look with the Infusible sheets. And you can continue using this and slice out more shapes if you want to see how you're going to get the most out of a sheet as you go along. So when I'm ready to cut, I can get rid of this. And very important, you want to make sure that before you cut, you have to change the entire project back to cut only. Right now, this is cut and print, and we don't want to print because we're using the pre-printed Infusible sheets. So make sure you've got everything selected, come to fill, and change it to no fill, and now you can see over on the layers, this is cut only. So if you go to make it and you're prompted to print, you know that you've missed a piece, so just go back and double check your layers to make sure everything is set to just to cut.
That's a really easy way, so you know where to put your designs on your mat before you cut it.
Mm-hmm. And it's not just for Infusibles. You could use it with regular papers if you have the same designs.
Right, if you had any kind of pattern papers, like the rainbow pattern. That's a pretty paper.
Mm-hmm.
Cricut Infusible Ink products are only available at Michael's until October, so Ken will put a link down in the description below and on our webpage for you to purchase them. Don't forget, you can purchase for in-store pickup. That way, you don't have to wander around the store for hours. You could just walk in, grab your purchase, and go.
And like for some people, it runs the risk of buying more than you really went into the store for.
I can't imagine who you're speaking of. Speaking of Michael's, Ken, while you at work, I'm going to place an order that we have to go pick up. And by we, I mean you have to run in and get it. So until next time we get back from Michael's, we'll talk to you guys later. Have a good night. Bye.
Bye.